this is a hell of a fight card. I will say that. I'm not gonna lie. To kick off January, to kick off 2026, this is a hell of a fight card. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, right? Because Eddie Hearn probably had a hand in it. This Shakur, I think Shakur's still with Eddie. Let me see who putting this fight on, chat. Yeah, DAZN. Yep. Eddie Hearn involved. So shout out to Eddie Hearn for bringing us this card. I'm not a hater. I shoot straight down the center, right? So I'm an objective person when it comes to boxing. I like who I like, and I'll give you my objective reasons for the people that I like. And I'm just going, but I'm not a man fan at the end of the day. If I think something's a bad look for somebody, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about it, right? All right, so let's get into it, man. The first fight on this card, we got Carlos Adames versus Ammo Williams. All right. For those who bet, pay attention to what I'm saying. Because when it comes to boxing, you know what I'm saying? Like 50 Cent said, I get money. I get money. All right. So if you're a betting person, pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm not giving out no advice. I'm not giving out no authorization. Listen to who I'm telling y'all and what I'm telling y'all. These fights gonna go like, and y'all can make y'all bets creative, put you a little parlay together, and go ahead and get you some bread. All right. So Carlos Adames is fighting against Ammo Williams. Carlos Adames looked amazing when he fought over there in Riyadh. When he fought over there in Riyadh, Carlos had fought against what's my boy name? He just knocked out Edgar Berlanga. Let me don't look. Let me get off this lazy shit, man, and go ahead. But he just knocked out Berlanga, man. Yeah, he fought Hamza Shiraz. Carlos Adames gave Hamza Shiraz the first loss of his career over there in Riyadh. Hamza Shiraz since then has moved up in weight, and he knocked out Edgar Berlanga, and he's looking good. Up there at what is that? He's up there at 175, 168. But he looking good up there at the higher weight, man. Punching power looks good. But Adames tamed him, man. He tamed Shiraz. He looked youthful. Adames is no spring chicken, right? But he looked very youthful in the fight against Shiraz. Looked like he had a lot of gas left in the tank. He's a 24-1 fighter with 18 knockouts. So he definitely has respectable punching power. But he's a boxer at heart, man. He definitely is. He's from the Dominican Republic. But he likes to box. He can bang, but he likes to box. I've always liked Carlos Adames. It's unfortunate that he hasn't been a very active fighter, fighting only once a year, every year since I think the last year where he had multiple fights looked like it was like 2021. His only loss was against Patrick Teixeira. It was a unanimous decision. Looked like he got outboxed in that one. But aside from that, man, he's a very good fighter, very durable fighter. Which is why I feel like against Ammo Williams, he'll be dominant in the way of winning rounds, right? Right now, we're talking about Ammo Williams versus Carlos Adames. Let me put these in the ticker feed too as we talk about them. Adames versus Williams. Okay. So yeah, I think the way this fight will go, as much respect as I have for Ammo Williams, I think this fight will be pretty crystal clear in regards to, who the winner's gonna be. I think the fight will go the distance. Ammo Williams is young, he's very strong, and he's a durable fighter. And so because of that, I don't think Adames will stop Ammo. Adames at his age and at this stage in his career, I just don't see him throwing enough punches per round to break down a young, durable Ammo. I don't think Ammo really has any issues in regards to his chin. I've seen him hit with some pretty hard shots before. I've seen him hurt, but that's boxing. But as far as him having like a sweet chin or anything like that, I don't know Ammo Williams to be that type of guy. And so because of that, I think this fight goes the distance. Again, listen to what I'm saying. Ammo has one loss. His only loss was by a KO. I believe I watched the fight. Yeah, it was against Hamza Shiraz. But again, so Carlos beat Hamza Shiraz, right? By decision. Ammo Williams' only loss is to Hamza Shiraz. So their common opponent is Hamza Shiraz. He got KO'd in the 11th round on some more so, in my opinion, because I remember watching that fight. I feel like Ammo got knocked out more so due to fatigue than just pure power by Shiraz. I think he got worn down. I think in the Adames fight, I don't know that he gets worn down to the same degree that he did against Shiraz, to the point where he gets stopped. And he went all the way to the 11th with Shiraz. So, yeah, I see that fight going the distance, but I do see Carlos Adames winning by decision. That's my take on that one, man. That's my take on that one. The next fight on the card for Shakur and Teofimo Lopez is Shushu Carrington versus Carlos Castro. All right. So Shushu Carrington is going to be the favorite in this fight, of course. Castro, no bum at all. We're gonna pull up the details on these guys here in a second. But Shushu, undefeated fighter, coming off the East Coast. Very, very good with catch and shoot fighting, right? Shushu Carrington is a hell of a catch and shoot fighter. I believe since he switched over to that style, in my opinion, he's become a lot more dangerous, right? He likes to punch with aggression. I don't know that his power is I don't want to say illegitimate. I think that his power is respectable, right? But I don't know that his power is polarizing or pulverizing. I think that he has to get his knockouts by wearing people down, punching guys with great placement, and an accumulation of damage over time. I think that's going to be Shushu's way of getting stoppages in the fights where he's going to get them, right? Shushu Carrington is currently 16-0 with 9 wins by knockout. All right, he's a young guy, very, very young fighter. He's fought 94 rounds as a pro. He's only 28 years old, and he's from Brooklyn, New York City. All right, so he's fighting against Carlos Castro, as I mentioned earlier. Carlos Castro, a respectable fighter, but I don't think he has a chance in this fight. He's 30-3. He's been knocked out 1 time. He has 14 wins by way of knockout. He is 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Doesn't show his age here, but Carlos has 3 losses. He's not going to beat a Shushu Carrington, being a guy with 3 losses and having been stopped. His last fight, he lost by a split decision to cool boy Stephen Fulton. And his record and his KO ratio shows that he likes to box. I think him wanting to box with Shushu is probably going to be a mistake. I believe I saw Castro fight in the Fulton fight. Fulton is not a tall, rangy guy. Shushu Carrington is 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. As I just mentioned, Castro only has a 70-inch reach. Shushu is good at fighting in the pocket, but if he wants to keep things on the outside, he's just as dangerous. And so because of that, I think he's going to have his way with Castro. I'm going to be real with you. Whether or not he stops Castro, that's going to be a coin flip. So for the people that are betting, I would bet the over on rounds, because if he does stop Castro, I do believe it would be later versus earlier in the fight. Because again, like I told you, I think Shushu has to wear guys down to get them out of there. But he does fight a very, very aggressive style. And so because of that, I could see him winning by stoppage. I wouldn't risk your parlay on betting stoppage. I would bet over on the rounds and not even pick a winner. If this is just my opinion, all alleged for content creation purposes and entertainment. But that's my take on Shushu Carrington versus Castro. Like I said, hell of a fight card coming up, man. Hell of a fight card coming up. And then the co-main event, or the right before the main event, I guess we're gonna call it the co-main event, the return of Keyshawn Davis. All right, DB3. Keyshawn Davis is returning against Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz, a very experienced fighter in the way of resume. Jermaine Ortiz, a very tough fighter in the way of resume. And Jermaine Ortiz is a very respectable fighter in the way of skill set. Let's talk about how interesting this fight is. Keyshawn Davis is coming off of a very long layoff. And the last time we saw Keyshawn, let's be honest, right? It wasn't good. Keyshawn came in heavy, very, very, very heavy and overweight for a scheduled Edwin De Los Santos fight that ended up getting called off due to him being excessively overweight. They couldn't even pay De Los Santos camp enough money to go through with the fight. For whatever reason, they decided not to even bother with the fight, due to even with the financial penalties that they were going to accept. They would have accepted a nice cash payout to continue with the fight, in addition to whatever their purse was going to be. But they decided not even to go ahead with it. Two ways you could look at that, right? Let's talk about Keyshawn for a second. It's two ways you could look at the situation that he handled that De Los Santos fight with. And I got homies that I talk to, and they look at it differently, right? One of them look at it like he didn't want to fight. He came in overweight like that, hoping that fight would get called off, and he did not want to fight Edwin De Los Santos that night. Does he want to fight Edwin De Los Santos at all? Is he afraid of the man? I don't think fighters are afraid. He's been fighting. The guy is a silver medalist in the Olympics. I don't think fighters are afraid. But did he want to? My take on it is, and this is my opinion, only Keyshawn knows his heart, and I'll say that so that for Keyshawn, in fairness, only Keyshawn knows Keyshawn's heart. My opinion is that Keyshawn Davis wasn't interested in fighting Edwin De Los Santos fairly. I don't think he wanted a fair fight with Edwin De Los Santos. Not at that point in time. Maybe he'll take a fair fight with Edwin De Los Santos at 140. Maybe he cool with a fair fight with Edwin De Los Santos at 147. But for whatever reason, at 135 pounds, Keyshawn Davis was not interested in having a fair fight with Edwin De Los Santos, in my opinion. With that being said, he's been out of the ring for a very long time, chat. Keyshawn's last fight, Keyshawn is only 13-0 as a pro, ladies and gentlemen. He's 13-0 with 9 knockouts. Hell of a fighter. Done a lot of training under Bo Mack, Terrence Crawford's trainer, and the whole gym over there, the B&B Academy. He's done a lot of training with under Bo Mack and those guys. So he's lethal. He's a very dangerous fighter. He fights mean. He fights aggressively. He's responsible. He locks in and gets serious. I think I've only seen him maybe play with his food a little bit a couple of times. But when a focused Keyshawn Davis is a dangerous-ass Keyshawn Davis. I will not lie to you. His last fight was February 14th of 2025. So getting into the ring on January 31st, he will be just shy, 2 weeks shy of being a year layoff, okay? He is fighting against Jermaine Ortiz. Let's talk about Jermaine. Jermaine is 20-2 with 1 draw, so 22-1 with 10 wins by way of knockout. Jermaine likes to box. Jermaine has good feet. Jermaine is durable. Jermaine has good legs. He has 2 losses. Neither of them are by KO, okay? Jermaine Ortiz nearly beat Teofimo Lopez. He lost by unanimous decision, but let me tell you something. Some people thought that fight was a robbery. Jermaine Ortiz had a hell of a fight with Teofimo Lopez. His second loss was to Vasil Lomachenko. So listen to the pedigree of the losses that he has, okay? This guy's resume, he has a hell of a resume. Nair Albright. Pay attention to that name. Nair Albright fought Keyshawn Davis, and he gave Keyshawn Davis, in my opinion, the toughest fight of his career so far. Jermaine Ortiz beat Nair Albright by unanimous decision. Understand? So Jermaine Ortiz can fight, ladies and gentlemen. He can fight. He won by UD against Antonio Moran. Again, fought Lopez, Teofimo Lopez to a decision. He lost. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. 2 out of the last 3 fights he's had, he's won by TKO. So Jermaine Ortiz is coming into this fight active. He's coming into this fight confident. He fought twice in 2025, and he fought twice in 2024. So he's active. He has a rhythm, and he's confident. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is no cakewalk for Keyshawn Davis. This is no cakewalk at all. I don't know if this is some type of a message from the promoter, a punishment of some sort. Hey, you blowing weight cost us money. You had a hometown fight. The main event got canceled. Our event was compromised. You know, take this little layoff. Don't make no bread. And when we call you back, we're going to have some action for your ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is for real. You know what I'm saying? This is a hell of a comeback fight in the situation that Keyshawn Davis's career is in.
Classic.
You know now look, it's a lot to this though. It's a lot to this. Devo said, great card. De Los Santos should move to 140. De Los Santos could do whatever he wants with his skill set. I ain't gonna hold you. This is the first guy Keyshawn is fighting with good footwork. True, he's been fighting a lot of heavy-footed, flat-footed Mexicans, like they have a lot of black fighters do on their way up. They make them fight journeyman Mexicans to look good, dance and box circles around them and shit. They faster, got more athleticism, the whole thing. So it's an old formula, but yeah, it's true. I had Ortiz beating Loma, in my opinion. Ortiz had a hell of a fight with Loma, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people could argue with you that Jermaine Ortiz is an undefeated fighter. A lot of people think he beat Loma or should have deserved a draw, and a lot of people think he beat Teofimo or should have deserved a draw. So Jermaine Ortiz and Keyshawn Davis is about to be a hell of a rumble. I'm gonna tell you something else. Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz is the best fight of this night. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur we'll talk about in a moment, and I'll tell you why Keyshawn and Jermaine is guaranteed to be the best fight of the night, no matter how it goes. Jermaine Ortiz moves, but he doesn't run. Keyshawn likes to fight. At the end of the day got to end. He gonna jab, he gonna box, he gonna use his principles, but he gonna try to bite down on his mouth guard and let some hot shit go, because that's just Keyshawn's temperament inside the ring. He fights mean. Jermaine is not afraid to mix it up. He not afraid to come up out of this fight, with his eyes swollen, if that's what it's going to take to get the win. I think this fight is going to be interesting to see what strategy each man, tries to employ, and I like to see the adjustments that get made. But at the end of the day, no matter what adjustments get made, no matter what strategy each one of them use, both strategies are going to involve fighting. And so because of that, that's a guaranteed rumble. Do not miss the co-main event. Now, for those who are betting, I'm going to be real with y'all. I think that Keyshawn Davis is younger. I think that Keyshawn Davis is probably at this point in his career slightly underrated because of the way his last outing went, or lack thereof went. I think that he's now officially in the underrated category. And I think that he going to beat Jermaine Ortiz's ass. I say all of that to tell y'all that I think that Keyshawn Davis is going to put belt to ass on Jermaine Ortiz. I'm not going to lie to you. Keyshawn Davis is skilled. And his trainers that he's come up under, I don't know if he's still with Bo Mack and them. I've heard different things. I don't even care. He's already got the tutelage. You know what I'm saying? Like, he uses a lot of physical controls. He's a very aggressive and physical fighter, and I think Jermaine's legs will get neutralized by Keyshawn cutting off angles and throwing punches and combinations, right? Jermaine try to get out and sneak out to the side. Keyshawn throw a hook to keep him there, throw something else to the body, and then come back upstairs to the head. Keyshawn's that type of fighter. I think once he figures Jermaine out, from the 5th round on, it's going to be an ass whooping. I don't think that the fight will end in a stoppage because of Jermaine Ortiz's legs and his durability. I don't think it's going to end in a stoppage. But I do think that the victory will be one-sided for Keyshawn Davis, and it will be a unanimous decision. And he'll be screaming shit like, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? But I got Keyshawn Davis winning this fight handedly, even though Ortiz is respectable. And I do think that him winning the fight the way that he's going to win the fight, because I think I think you're going to get a hyper-focused Keyshawn Davis. Watch what I tell you. And like I just said when I brought his name up, a focused Keyshawn Davis is a very, very dangerous one. An intentional Keyshawn Davis is a very, very dangerous one. So I think that when he wins this fight, you're going to hear his name move into some conversations a little bit differently, and then we're going to see what type of man he is once that happens. We'll see exactly what type of man he is once that happens. Right? Because we know what type of men some of these people are. We know what type of man T.O. is. We know what type of man Shakur is. Teofimo and Shakur are two of Devin Haney's ducks. And they're willing to fight each other, but not willing to fight Devin. You know what I'm saying? So when you finally win that fight that puts you over the hump and move your name into the conversation a little different, that's when your phone gonna start ringing with some different names. And then when your phone start ringing with those names, we gonna find out what type of man you are. So I'm gonna give Keyshawn. I'm gonna jump out on the ledge and say I think Keyshawn gonna win this fight by UD. And then we gonna find out the rest of 2026. Because he gonna have a lot of year left to get another fight in. So we gonna find out the rest of 2026 what type of man he is. You feel me? What type of fighter is you? Is it about money only? You gonna try to keep taking these fights where you can make a name look good, get the best bread possible without no crazy risk, or is you one of them? You feel me? Is you one of them? So we gonna find out for sure, for sure. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com. Or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and that heart.